Integrity, the hallmark of every Marine officer. But I'm a Lance Corporal at heart. And the Marines I've served with know that's true. Oh, they know. And I'm retired now, so I can be very proud of that. There are a couple of informative plaques that will actually do a bit better job than me now. But the crosses were the inspiration of a wonderful officer and leader, Major Ray Mendoza, who was a heavyweight champion wrestler for the Ohio State University, for you Buckeyes out there. And Big Ray was a big man, and he had big paws, and he carried one of the crosses, not these, and I'll explain that in a minute. But he and a number of brothers, another man named Doug Zembeck, who was second lieutenant in Bravo 1-6 when Captain Willy Buhl was his company commander, and I had to hang on to the reins with that man because he was going. And these men fought through Fallujah 1 in 2-1, and we had about a 3-month crossover with them in country, and then they came home. And Ray was later CO of Echo 2-1, and he redeployed, and he gave his life, at a place called New Abadi, in an operation named Steel Curtain. And the date was 14 November 2005. But Ray and his brothers brought these crosses up here. It was their inspiration to do so. And for those of you who remember 12 years ago, before we deployed to Iraq, we came up here in this foggy morning. And we had music. Our new chaplain, Chaplain Kennedy, who just turned over from the regiment, he was the regimental chaplain. That's and he just wouldn't carry a pistol out in combat either, but it's another story. Chaplain Kennedy's first job was to set up the memorial service up here, and before we deployed, and it was foggy, and we humped up here, and every Marine in the battalion brought a rock. It was a pile of rocks, and so from that time certainly forward, this is an extraordinarily special place. And I hope, especially for our families, and I was tail end Charlie today with Myra Rintamaki, and Myra, where are you? Myra made it. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go to that spot. No, Myra, come on. And Stephen is smiling down. Yeah, he might have chuckled a couple of times, but he's smiling down, proud of his mom for coming up here. And so okay, the crosses, we had a wildfire on the base, and the original crosses were destroyed. And members of the regiment reconstructed them and humped them back up the hill. And if this was a good hump for you today, including my active duty brothers who are stalwart, can run through bulkheads and do anything, imagine carrying those big pieces of gear up there. It's an amazing thing to contemplate. Okay, so I think you've got enough. Sergeant Darling down the hill at Puller's Post was that we had a whole group in 2004 of veterans that came up here. We trucked them up. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all from 3-1. It was an amazing thing. Colonel John Regal, Kilo 3-1, tip of the spear. Anyway, 29 of our brothers of the 33 who gave their lives on our deployment, my deployment, were up here that day that did not come home with the battalion. And so I say that these crosses are always here. They're here anytime you want to come back and reflect and look out over the place that we spent the best years of our lives. And for you family members, for you moms and wives and besties, and our kids, our kids who carry their camelbacks and their hoodies. This was where your dad, this is where your husband earned his manhood.
All right.
Okay, in the hills of Horno. All right, and so if I may close, I said I'd be short, and I hope it's shorter than it was. Somebody's timing me. Sergeant Major's always timing me. Okay, I just mentioned this briefly at the memorial, at the eulogy. You know, we've lost brothers who made it home with us since we came home. And I write it here, you know, some tragically and sadly have taken their own lives. I can't compute that in my mind. I can't get my arms around that. The Veterans Administration and Tim Diamond, Gunny Diamond's servant with the VA, says that 22 veterans a day are taking their lives across our nation. I can't believe that is true. I just can't. It's too many. It's too high a number. But a lot are, and men we know, men who are close to us, have taken their lives in the time since we have returned home. And we cannot let that happen. Amen. We can't let that happen. So if it's, you know, and I'm not going anywhere with this remark, but I mean, if it's finding a brother who's now your roommate in school, if it's reaching out to someone who got in a car accident and you're not just asking him if he's okay after his accident, you're asking him how he's doing. You know, if it's just, you know, checking out his Facebook page and seeing what's going on and seeing if he's been making posts, I don't know, but you gotta reach out. And we gotta prevent these things from occurring. So there's this 22 for 22 going on. I'm done with the notes. This 22 for 22, and I don't know how many challenges I've had for the 22 for 22. You know, I am challenged. I got about 102,000 challenges going on, and so I have yet to, you know, do it. So I'm doing it right here. And I'd ask you to join me for day one of the 22 for 22. Again, I don't want to believe it's 22, but it is too many. It is one too many. So your next Marine Corps exercise will be Marine Corps push-ups. I will count the cadence. It is a 2-count cadence. You will count the repetition. Marines and aliens, assume the position. Ready? Move. Don't spill your beer. Ready, and down, up, 1, down, up, 2, down, up, 3, down, up, 4, down, up, 5, down, up, 6, down, up, 7, down, up, 8, down, up, 9, down, up, 10, down, up, 11, down, up, 12, down, up, 13, down, up, 14, down, up, 15, down, up, 16, down, up, 17, down, up, 18, down, up, 19, down, up, 20, down, up, 21, down, up, 22. One more for all of our brothers who gave their lives for our nation, for our battalion, and for their brothers. Down, up, 23. One more for our battalion forward deployed. Down, up, 24. One more for Chesty Puller. And one for Colonel Gideons and Sergeant Major Whitcomb. 26. And one for our Gold Star moms. And our Gold Star sisters. And our Gold Star dads.